Welcome to A Shot of Ag. My name is Rob Sharkey. I'm a fifth generation farmer from just outside of Illinois. Horses. Every kid wants them, but not every kid can ride one. What do we do about that? Well, we go to our guest today, Christina Kaler. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, you're from Brimfield, right?
Yes.
Okay. Originally from Edelstein?
Yep.
Not everybody knows where Edelstein is because sometimes when they're driving north, they blink.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, not a very big burg, is it?
No, but Tanner's Orchard kind of puts it on the map.
Is that the address?
Very close.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Grew up there on a farm, correct?
Yep.
All right. And then how'd you get into horses?
It was a total accident. No one in my family rode horses. They put me in riding lessons along with piano, dance class, horseback riding.
Really?
And something went wrong along the way. I don't know.
Do you still dance or play the piano?
No.
But
No.
the horse stuck, huh?
Yeah, it's stuck on accident there.
Okay. Was it just kind of an automatic love for it?
Yeah, every little girl. I actually rode my first horse at Tanner's Orchard, funny enough.
Really?
I swear, still have the same like pony thing, that every little girl in Central Illinois has been on.
Was it a merry-go-round thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I rode my first one there, and then I begged and begged my mom to let me ride, and I got put in weekly lessons, and yeah, I was just sort of obsessive about it as a kid. It was all that I really wanted to do.
Yeah. And you went off to ISU.
Yes. Well, I was sort of headed towards the age 16, what do you want to be when you grow up? Started taking SATs and ACTs, and full-time horse girl really isn't one of the options to toggle when you are indicating what you want to do when you grow up. So I started looking for, if not the horse stuff, that's not a real job, then what? And teachers seemed to be something I was interested in, at least it was a path forward. And so I went to ISU for secondary English education.
Okay. And what'd you do after graduation?
I taught high school at local community high schools for 4 years.
That sounds horrible.
Yes, it was awful. I really didn't like it very much.
Wasn't your deal, huh?
No, not my cup of tea. But while I was doing that, I was also building my little business, Eyes Up Equestrian. I say little because at that point it was really just 6 kids and a pony and me. So I was building that business after school and then teaching high school during the day.
Eyes Up, is that a horse thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you ride, you don't want to be focusing on the ground. Everybody gets on. They're like, "Oh my gosh!" At first, I'm
you're
so
a long
high
ways
up here.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like that anymore. I've kind of lost my sense of heights. But anyway, So you want to be looking up and looking forward, and it's also a metaphor, for keeping your eyes on the future and what's coming next.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Double meaning.
Yeah.
I am quite ignorant on horses, okay? So I'm going to ask a lot of dumb questions. So my wife, she has what they call a quarter horse. Is that what you're training with?
No.
No.
So kind of the opposite. Quarter horses are, I think for non-horse people, the easiest way to understand it is your family Labrador. Might be a nice way to put it. They're phenomenal athletes, usually easy to get along with, usually kind of teachable.
Yeah.
I don't work with a lot of quarter horses. My specialty, I guess I'm transitioning. One of my specialties is off-the-track thoroughbreds. So those horses originally are bred and designed to race, like what you see in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
But in the racing industry, there's this huge sort of what next when the horses stop running, which usually happens at age 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you're lucky, 7 if you're lucky, 8, 9's unheard of,
And a horse can, what's 30?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes later. So then, after their racing career, then what?
Yeah.
And so I retrain those horses and give them a new skill set to go on and be family horses or jumping horses or something like that.
We had a guest on before that said that racing horses were emotional animals.
Yes, that's true.
Is it?
All horses are emotional animals, but race horses are bred to be their flight instincts are so, that's what they're meant for, right?
Yeah.
Go, boom. And they can be very flighty and very emotional, and they're bred to be that way.
Okay, explain to me how you train an animal like that is only been known to, I got to run and be the fastest, to, all right, now I'm going to let Rob jump on my back and we're going to go for a walk.
Yeah, well, I think it's really 2 things primarily. One, it's all about desensitization and sensitization. So a horse like that has pretty much only been told go,
Okay.
you know, and so they think everything means go. So you kick them, it means go. You pull, it means go. You flap your arms and it means go. And so you have to teach them that, you know, sometimes I'm just going to reach up and pat you, you know, and that
Yeah.
doesn't mean go, you know, that just means I'm having a good time. And so desensitizing them is part of it, you know, so we'll take a tarp, you know, and show them that, you know, that doesn't mean anything. Look, it's just a tarp. Or we'll take a pool noodle and say, you know, hey, this is just a pool noodle that doesn't mean anything at all, you know, so that they can go in the world and have a, you know, small child run past and not think, oh my gosh, I need to run away
Yeah.
from that. And then when I say desensitize, sensitize, you also have to then teach them what things really do mean. So when I put my leg here, it means go sideways. When I put, you know, 2 legs here, it means something else. And so you have to sort of educate them just like you would a kid, right? This is your ABCs, and then you teach them sight words, and all of a sudden they're reading sentences, which is pretty cool.
What if they see a rabbit? Because don't they chase that around a track?
No.
Or is that the dogs?
I think that might be the dogs.
dogs?
I think you're thinking fox hunting, which is a thing on the East Coast, but no rabbits, just
Still
foxes.
fast,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Do you have to be patient to do that? Because it seems to me like you'd be constantly finding what they've been taught for years.
Yeah. So I have like a variety of mentors in my life who help me with my horsemanship, and I think becoming a horseman is like more than a lifetime of knowledge and information. And so one of my favorite horsemen described it as like our job as trainers is to help them feel every single emotion on the wheel, right? Every single one. They get angry, they get anxious, they get frustrated, they get rewarded, they feel fulfilled, you know, and they get excited. And so our job is to like show them all of those feelings and help them process them. And so yeah, it takes a lot of patience and a lot of intentional work. Not any of it can be kind of, you know, what you think about, like, oh, we're just, you know, going to go cowgirl around. It's not like that. It's really methodical.
You have to be an athlete to do what you do.
Yes.
I mean, is that just, I mean, if you're going to be training these animals in such a way, I mean, you've got to be physically fit to handle it, or else it seems to me like they just beat the tar out of you.
Yeah. I usually ride about 6 horses per day, sometimes more, sometimes less, just depending on what horses I have for training or, you know, in my program. And it is a lot of physical work, but it's so much fun. You know, sometimes I forget how much physical work it is until the end of the day. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm tired, I'm sore. But yeah, no, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of good hard farm work, you know?
Yeah. So knowing how to train a horse, knowing how to do all that is one thing. To actually make a business out of it, that has to be a whole new ballgame.
Yeah, I got really lucky. I'm not entrepreneurial in nature. That might not be true, but
I would say you are.
I think I might be, but I don't think I ever would have been brave enough, you know, to like when I was 16 and was like, oh gosh, like I couldn't see a path forward to, you know, the next 15 years of my life that were gonna get me here, you know, and so I think I was really, really lucky that I got to have my teaching career in the beginning, go on to get a master's degree that was very linear. You know, I had income, I had insurance, I had a way. And then I got really lucky that it was just, you know, 6 kids after school, and then it was 10 kids after school, and then it was 20 kids after school. And then, you know, so it kind of grew organically. And so by the time we got to a place where the business was, you know, self-fulfilling, I don't know, was running, you know, already by the time I was able to walk away from my full-time job.
So I mean, anytime you walk away from a job with, you know, a steady paycheck and benefits and all that, generally people are like, that was one of the most scary times of my life. You kind of had that backup plan already in place. So was it that bad for you?
It was absolutely terrifying.
Was it? Okay.
It was terrifying. And, you know, so many people, right, friends, family, well-meaning, loving people were worried about me, you know, like, are you sure? You know, you have a great job, you have a great career, you're so good with the kids. And I'm just like, I know I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it, you know. And I don't know, I read a book, it was Matthew McConaughey's like autobiography or whatever, memoir or whatever.
Stop right there. Let's all digest what she just said.
Yeah, right. But he's so handsome, so.
All right.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, his book is called something Green Lights, and like the whole premise is if you just keep following the green lights in your life, you end up where you're meant to be.
He stole that idea.
Yeah.
Actors actually don't think for themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's, trust me, I'm on TV.
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, it was super scary, but it seemed like a green light in that moment. And luckily the Peoria area has just been so great to my business and support it. We have so many different people who ride at my farm. We have 7 lesson horses, and they come in all different shapes and sizes.
I don't know what that means.
A lesson horse? So we have 7 horses that I personally own. Well, I guess my business owns.
Yeah.
And then people come and pay a fee to ride that horse in a lesson with me.
Okay.
So, if you wanted to bring a loved one out, you could bring a child, an adult, a friend, and, you could bring a couple guys and some beer, right? And come ride my horses. And so it's kind of a nice way to, dip your toes in the pond and see what's up.
Okay, that would drive me insane, because obviously you put a lot of time into these horses and that, and then you get a yahoo like myself that just gets up there and doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, I'd be using this on the,
Yeah, right.
the rider more than the horse. Does that ever bother you?
Yeah. I think one of my, superpowers is reading people and moving people like the horses, moving them where they need to be, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's really engaging. It's like problem solving at like the highest level to get a person that's there for, whatever goal, whether that is, I just want to have fun. I just want to yippee-ki-yay around, or I want to get serious. I want to understand the sport. We have all different people. And so it's really engaging to me to take whoever it is that comes to me with whatever it is their unique goal is and work through that with the other dynamic, which is the horse that they're riding.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's really complex. It's fun. I like it.
Peoria area is, I mean, it's a good area, right, for like people in that, but when you equate it to how many people actually want to pay for their kid to get horse lessons, is it a good area?
I think so.
Are you full?
Yeah, I'm really full.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really full. I think so. I think we're lucky. We have a lot of different, surrounding communities. So I have students that come from Canton and Washington and Pekin and Bloomington and, everywhere that you can imagine people come to our barn. There's not a lot of other centers for riding here. So, it's really full. It's really busy and lots of different ages. The student that I taught just before I came is in her 70s, and she's amazing. She rides every single week. And
Does that worry you?
no, she's amazing. She's so strong.
Break something just getting on there.
Yeah, no, she's been riding for a couple of years now, and we focus on safety and confidence, and we just do it. It's awesome. It's amazing.
What's your bread and butter though? Is it the kids?
Yeah, my favorite age to teach is actually middle school. I love
Like junior high?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so
weird.
mouthy though.
Oh, but they're awesome. They're like little people, and they have feeling like, and I guess of course all of them are little people, but they're like little mini adult versions of who they're gonna be, but they're not cooked yet, and so it's still they're still real impressionable. And
I know.
Yeah.
They'd squish if they fall off that horse.
Yeah.
Okay, so that type of student, right? I think it'd be so hard because you have to work with that student, but yet the parents are paying, because it is a business, right? You have to stay in business. Is that ever a hard balance to get between, hey, I need to push this person, but yet the parents have to be happy too?
Yeah. I think, rider goal, like identifying what our goals are.
Yeah.
One of the learning curves, like in my own, learning and growing how to be a better coach, is about like really hearing and listening to what their goals are, right? Whether it's the student or the parent, and not making it about my goals. So my goal is to ride at the absolute highest level of the whole sport on an international level. And, that's not normal, So what is more normal is, hey, we just want to take a weekly lesson and teach our daughter about like grit or something, and sort of letting go of my own stuff, and
Yeah.
listening to them, whether it's the parent or the student or whatever, and, helping them on their personal journey. And that's been, something I've learned.
So let's talk about the competitions.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they are.
Oh, I'd love to tell you about them.
Okay.
So I am a eventer. I event, right? Like how to use that word. I'm an eventer. So there's 3 phases of every competition. You have dressage. Well, hold on, back up. It was a military sport in the beginning. And so
Dressage.
eventing.
Oh, okay.
So what it was a military test. And so the soldier and its mount would present themselves as like certified for this level of combat, right? This level of difficulty. And so with each level, right, then it gets harder and harder and the obstacles get bigger. And so anyway, the 3 tests, right, are one about obedience. So that's dressage.
Okay.
People know it looks real fancy. You go like prance around and look all, beautiful
Yeah,
and
oh,
elegant.
yeah.
And then you have cross country. So the obstacles are big and solid. And the idea is like, hey, you and your horse have to go deliver this message to this general right now. And, something's in the way, this log, this fence, this pond, this ditch, but you got to get it there. So your horse has to be brave enough to say, yes, ma'am, when it counts. And then the show jumping is all about agility. And so making sure that your horse is agile enough for the competition or for the mission. So in modern times, we don't have a lot of mounted military anymore, and so it's
You
just
never
been
know.
wrapped up for
Yeah.
sport.
It could come back.
You don't know. So,
So you do this.
yeah. So I do 3D eventing. There's lots of different levels. We have students at Eyes Up that are 10 that are doing the starter novice level,
Yeah.
that are real little, and I compete on an international level, which is really fun.
So you must be good.
Yeah, kinda. Well, I'm getting better all the time.
Well, okay. I mean, brag about yourself.
Well, gosh, I'm not excellent at that, but I'll try. So I ride at the 2-star level. The top of the sport is 5-star, so
Okay.
I still have room to grow. I'm not like a 5-star eventer yet, but I want to be.
Yeah, but
so.
you're really young. Is that like to be a 5-star?
Yeah.
Do you have to be like the 18-year-old prodigy, or is that something you
I think
build
you can
on?
grow into it. I think
Okay.
you grow into it. A lot of people, have, like, my peers don't have a lot of stories like mine, right? And so I'm self-funded. I didn't start eventing until I was 21. And so I'm kind of coming to it later in my life. A lot of people have been riding, since they were 5, So anyway, my story's a bit different, but I'm excellent at my current level, which is 2-star. I take so many riding lessons myself still, so I'm a great student. And I'm always trying to learn and understand the sport better.
Who's
so.
teaching you?
So my coach, his home state is in Maryland. His name is Danny Warrington, and he does a program called Land Safe that focuses on teaching riders how to protect themselves in the case of a fall.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's what he's known for, but he was also an event rider, and he's very good at coaching people, including
ground
me.
will break your fall, won't it?
Yes, well, sort of.
Have you been hurt?
Not badly.
Okay.
No, honestly. No.
I only
little
broke my
bangs here and
pelvis
there,
and my
but
collarbone,
no,
but-
like a broken finger, a busted open chin, or something silly, but nothing big.
Okay.
So lucky.
So you are doing this. Are you teaching your students to do this too?
Yeah, so we have a competitive team. Last weekend we had 4 students compete at a national level. That was exciting. And then I ran my 2 horses too. And then in 3 weeks we're taking 5 students to Barrington to compete in a national horse show there. So very exciting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so not all of our riders at Eyes Up are competitive, right? And some are. And that's been a fun part of the business to see that sort of grow on. My passion for the sport kind of be passed down to other kids in the area.
So is your business, right? Is that for you to make a living, or is that for you to continue your pursuit of being an inventor?
Yeah, it's all about that.
It's all-
my life is completely wrapped up in my sport,
Is
I
it?
eat and breathe that love of the sport and love of learning how to do it better. I'm really lucky. I know some people who are very competitive, and who doesn't like to win, that feels really good, but I'm more motivated by being the excellent at my level, and really understanding what we're doing and why. Yeah, no,
Sounds pretty
I eat,
competitive
sleep,
to
and
me.
breathe it. Yeah,
Even if you're competing against yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, when you go to these events, are you guys going are you and all your students, or is it kind of separate?
We usually travel as a team. So when we go, it's the closest one is actually in Barrington. It's just 3 hours away. But normally it's across the country. We've been to Indiana. We've been to Wisconsin. When I travel, I go to Atlanta and Florida. So we go all over the place. And so that's a fun bonding experience. The girls all kind of, get to swim in the hotel. It's kind of like a travel softball,
yeah.
baseball,
Yeah.
cheerleading team, something like that.
Well, honestly, my wife grew up with a horse. I mean, we've had a horse, and it just, I don't know, whatever it is. I never got upset about it because I'm like, well, my kids could be into a lot worse stuff than,
Yeah.
than doing horse. It does take some discipline for these kids to learn what you're teaching them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think every year there's this Facebook post that kind of gets circulated, like everybody shares it and stuff, and it's like I don't pay for my daughter to ride a horse. I'm paying for my daughter to learn blah 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 blah. And the lessons that kids learn, grit and stewardship and perseverance and empathy. Like it's just responsibility, leadership, emotional control, physical control. Like it's incredible what the sport has to offer the kids as they grow up.
There are some people that believe that honestly you don't need to be that big of an athlete or that good of an athlete to ride a horse at your level of competition. I would suggest those people have never ridden a horse
Yes,
before.
probably not. Probably not. Well, maybe once on a trail
It
ride
looks
in Mexico
easy on
or
TV,
something.
right? You just ride it. No,
yeah,
it's
you just sit there.
yeah. You have to be in incredible shape. I mean, you're a high performance athlete. I mean, this is what you have to do. Is it more than just riding? Do you have to work? I don't know what workouts you would do.
Yeah, I personally lift weights. I think that's so fun.
How much you bench? Huh?
Oh, I don't know. Gosh, I bench whatever my trainer puts on the bar. I don't know. I don't carry my own weight. Sorry, that's below my pay grade. No, I'm kidding.
But you would have to build up your entire body, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, it is a full body thing. Yeah, and it's real dynamic. It's about agility. Especially at my level, you're traveling at so ever many meters per minute. You're galloping. So it's very quick pace, and you got to be real on your feet and agile mentally and physically.
Are you giving lessons every day?
365. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
On Christmas?
Well, not really, but I'm mucking manure, right, on Christmas every year. It's part of the tradition.
You did say at the beginning of the interview that you were full, and I guarantee there's someone that's going, damn it.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
there's not
always,
one spot?
Yes. No. Well, of course, there's one more spot. There's always one more. So no, we're always adding to our program, and it's really neat. We offer semi-private and group lessons for people too. So we have places in our groups and semi-privates to welcome people in to meet other people who like horses or other kids. To meet other kids who love.
What do you see 10 years down the road? Do you want to just keep growing with this?
Oh, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. My most recent business venture, this is a bit ridiculous. I'm a little embarrassed, but I'm going to tell you what it is. I came to the realization, I don't know, 6 months ago in September, I was like, what makes me no money, actually? $0 is all of the hard work I'm doing to develop myself as an athlete and my own competition. Believe it or not, we go across the country, we stay in hotels, we horse show, we do all this, and you win, and you make nothing. There's no prize money. I mean, seriously, the ribbons aren't even that nice. It's wild. It makes no sense. I walked my CPA through the barn, and she was like, wait a minute, so all this equipment and all these horses for you, they don't generate anything? And I was like, no, they don't.
Sounds like farming.
Yes, yeah, shoot, right? Where did I come up with that? So I decided I wanted to find a way to monetize my own personal journey, right? My own story. How do we do that?
We have to.
Yeah. And so anyway, I've started this whole Instagram thing, trying to put my story out, my horses development, my own development online, and sort of share that story. So I don't know, in 10 years, that's starting to get a lot of traction. And so in 10 years, I hope that I have something that allows me to, travel and be mobile with my competitive team and, make a larger impact maybe nationally or internationally, who knows?
There's people that will tell you it's foolish to think that you can make money or any significant, leeway with social media and that. But I've honestly probably interviewed over 1,000 people that are making significant money with it. So, it's you have to work at it.
Yes.
But it's definitely attainable in that.
It's interesting. It's a whole market in and of itself.
Yeah.
As a former English teacher, I think it's really interesting from a tech study perspective and a rhetorical analysis. What's your audience? What's your genre? What's your message? What are you doing? How are you engaging? And it's fun. It's an interesting project to work on.
I will say everybody has worked very hard, and it has to be positive. Don't go just jump off a horse on your head and say, oh, that's how funny this is. Okay, if people want to find you on social media, if people want to find you internet, where do they go?
Yeah, so you should follow my journey and my story at my Instagram. It's at Christina, my name, Kristina, _Koehler, KOEHLER _eventing, EVENTING. That's my Instagram. That's the best way to follow me. I have a TikTok. I just started it though, so you could probably be my 100th follower if you hurry up. But
Well, I noticed you weren't following me yet.
oh shoot, sorry. I'll remedy that right away.
It's okay. I mean, we all have feelings, and sometimes they get hurt.
Yes, you can work through that. We can work on that together. It'll be all right.
We didn't even get to this thing, but it's probably for the best.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
I mean, honestly.
Probably a lot of
Yeah.
bad jokes there. I think what you're doing is amazing because passion. If you have passion for something and you can make a career out of that, you are not going to be unhappy. You're going to be a success, and I can already tell. I mean, you've got the passion, you've got the drive. When you put those two together, the world is your oyster. And my gosh, I asked that about 10 years. I'm going to be watching because I don't know what you're going to be doing in 10 years, but it's going to be amazing. So Christina Koehler, thank you very much for being here. Everybody else, we'll catch you next time.